Hey there, Dr. Mark here, and today I'm going to be sharing with you my top 10 strategies for starting an online nutrition coaching business and the biggest mistakes I see new nutrition coaches making along the way. Here's the deal. Although nutrition coaching is the most profitable and rewarding career in the health space today, there are some aspects that are tough to figure out. Can I help clients get results? Will I actually be able to get paying clients? There is a lot of uncertainty around these things, leading people to second guess themselves and driving them right out of the nutrition coaching industry. When I first started my online nutrition coaching business, I made a lot of mistakes, but luckily enough, I had a supportive partner that helped me through it. What I want to do today is give you some practical tips and strategies so you can avoid making the same mistakes I did, so you can hit the ground running building your own profitable online nutrition coaching business. All right, 10 tips coming your way. Here we go. All right, tip number 1, no one wants to hire a nutrition coach, but they'll pay for the result. Who doesn't want to hire a nutrition coach? A lot of people actually, but don't worry, they still will once you have this figured out. Here's the deal, the people that want to work with you want one thing more than anything else. They want results. Of course, they want to learn things along the way, but what they want more than anything else is to achieve something and achieve something specific. They want to lose weight, they want to lose fat, they want to gain muscle, or they want to run a marathon. They have something specific in mind that they want to achieve. Now, where most nutrition coaches struggle is that they struggle to understand that they are not their market. This spills into their social media content and really impacts their ability to attract new paying clients. What your potential and current clients want from you is different than what you want to give them as the professional nutrition coach, especially when you've been told over and over just to provide more value. You're probably thinking, I'm gonna teach these people on social media so much, who wouldn't wanna buy this? And the answer is most people actually. But as soon as you understand that no one actually wants nutrition coaching, but they're happy to pay for the result, sales will come easy, which means you'll end up actually helping more people. Funny how that works, right? Put yourself in your client's shoes. What is in it for them? When you start to focus your social media content on selling people what they want, but ultimately giving them what they need through your coaching, your business will explode. Tip number 2, you need to be able to understand and apply the science of nutrition. Speaking of results, there's one surefire way to be an effective coach and get repeatable results for your client. It has everything to do with being able to apply the science of nutrition. Learning more about the science of nutrition will leave you confident that you know exactly what to prescribe to get clients results. Since 90% of nutrition clients actually hire a coach to help with some sort of body composition change, which is essentially losing fat or gaining muscle, you'll need to have systems and strategies in place to have clients be able to control their calorie and macronutrient intake. You'll need systems and strategies in place for clients to be able to control and manage their calorie and macronutrient intake. Understanding how to prescribe these values on an individual level depending on the client's goals and where they're coming from is the ticket to success. One of the best ways to manage this is to get clients to track their intake or keep a food journal so you can assess things objectively. This sets the overall structure of someone's plan. Then understanding best practices for how long and how fast someone can be in specific phases of dieting keeps it safe and effective for everyone. If you can't handle these aspects of the science of nutrition, you are just guessing and wishing that a client will get results. And tip number 3 is client attraction strategies. Without paying clients, you don't have a nutrition coaching business, you have a nutrition coaching hobby. So although it's important to be good at what you do and be able to get client results, you also want to be able to attract new paying clients. The best way to do this is to create social media content that makes people interested about the solution your coaching provides. And then you need to put strategies in place to take people from curious and turn them into paying clients. If you're not sure about what to post, think about it this way. What do you wish you would have known before you got into nutrition and fitness? What held you back from reaching your goals? What are some small tips and strategies that would have been helpful? What did it feel like emotionally before you reached a certain goal? What weren't you able to do? And finally, what did it feel like once you achieved a certain goal? Start creating content for where potential clients are, and this will attract people to the next step. Tip 4, let's talk about pricing strategy. Those that pay attention. There is nothing that makes me sadder than watching someone who is passionate about nutrition, that wants to help others, that wants to make money, burnt out and struggling. But it's the reality when you haven't mastered the business of nutrition coaching. One of my favorite stories of someone completely reversing the situation is Coach Meredith, a Dr. Mark Method grad. Before the Dr. Mark Method, Coach Meredith was a pretty busy massage therapist, but she wanted to break into more nutrition coaching because of the dramatic impact it had on her own life. So like many others, she did a nutrition coaching cert from a popular company in the industry and she went on her way. She was very eager to start helping others and maybe make a little money along the way. Although she learned about the science of nutrition in her nutrition cert, she was kind of left feeling, how do I actually coach people? Without much strategy, she started an 8-week nutrition and fitness challenge that she saw many other fitness influencers in the space doing. With some shoulder tapping and pleading, she got some people signed up for her first challenge. She did it. She charged whatever she thought people could pay for the challenge, which ended up being around $50, and she got to work starting to change lives. Or so she thought. See, little did she know this group actually paid to their commitment level, which you can guess by the price wasn't very much. And although she begged them for more information and to follow up, they weren't very good clients. And the ones that did correspond, they expected the world of Meredith and messaged her all hours of the night, completely spazzing that they weren't seeing life-changing results by day 5, asking if they could do things differently with a different approach or a different style. And Meredith said yes because she didn't have any confidence in her skills and the way she approached things. And Meredith said yes because she didn't have any confidence in her skills or the way she approached things. By the halfway point of her challenge, Meredith was starting to wonder, is this even worth it? Her clients weren't getting the results she expected, and some, they had dropped off entirely. And even more importantly, she had made around $500 for around 50 hours of work. That's less than minimum wage. When she first approached me about the Dr. Mark method, I could tell she was a little hesitant because she was still burnt out, but I knew there were some small tweaks to her coaching process that would make the world of a difference, and it all came down to price. Once we doubled her prices, clients started checking in, they started valuing the service, and the results followed. This made a big difference, and her income actually followed. People started paying attention. This made the world of a difference, and I'm happy to report Coach Meredith just had her first 10K month as a nutrition coach on part-time hours. When people pay, they pay attention, so even though I know it's scary, you need to charge more. All right, and tip 5 is to give away your best stuff for free. All right, this one thing held back my nutrition coaching business for the longest time. When I first started my nutrition coaching business, I was dead set on doing things differently. So I made sure I wasn't copying anyone. I spent so much time reading and researching and developing my own systems and strategies so I could put my own spin on things so I could make my nutrition coaching truly remarkable. Revolutionary even. It was with the best intentions, but it actually set me back, and it set me back years. See, not only was I reinventing the wheel, I was reinventing a wheel no one even cared about. And since I was hiding everything I knew and I was working on, no one really knew what I was up to. In the effort to make my nutrition coaching the best kept secret, it actually stayed that way. And I'm here to tell you today that this does not work in the coaching world, and it's for a few reasons. Number one, 99% of the things that help people get leaner and gain muscle are already well known. They are in plain sight for anyone that wants to learn them. Knowledge isn't actually the hard part, and we'll touch on that in a second. Number two, the only way to get people interested in what you do is to tell them about it. Tell them about it early and tell them about it often. There's a much better way to do this, an easier way, a way that'll set you up for success right off the bat. Here's what you need to do. If you have something that can help someone in the nutrition space, you need to give it all away for free. Why will this work? Well, the magic in nutrition coaching isn't because of the knowledge. That's already out there and anyone can access it. That's not where the magic is. Actually, did you know that there's over 500 hours of YouTube content uploaded every minute? We have the information everywhere. But this doesn't make sharing this knowledge any less important, because the magic of nutrition coaching actually comes from action. And this is the part that people are gonna pay you for. This is the part that's gonna change lives, and this is the part you're gonna build a career around. But this is only once people realize that you are the person that can help them. And this doesn't happen when you keep everything hidden away. Let today be the day that you start showing up and giving away your best information and start charging for the implementation. Tip number 6, an application process. Here's a quote I picked up in the last few years that's really clarified selling this whole online nutrition coaching process. Don't sell anyone anything until they know you are a someone. One thing that really limits the growth of most online nutrition coaches is that their coaching is sort of this revolving door. Anyone can buy it or sign up for it whenever they want. It's open access. And unless you have a massive following, this isn't gonna work. This is a really common scenario and something I actually just troubleshooted with a one-on-one business coaching client last week. This coach has a website with a lot of traffic on it, a lot of eyes on it. People are viewing it all the time. I was able to catch one mistake in his nutrition coaching process that was costing him around 3 to 5 signups every week, meaning thousands of dollars were being lost by something very, very simple. And once he made this minor adjustment to his process, everything was night and day. Yesterday, I got this message from him. Dr. Mark, you won't believe it. I just made $1,000 in one day after the change we made. I've never had a single day like this before. Crazy, right? Let me talk to you about how this happened. See, the mistake my client was making, he was talking about the cost of his service way too early in the sales process. And although people ultimately need to know what your coaching costs, you don't want to do it too early, and you don't want to do it before they see the value in your service. And although people eventually need to know how much your service costs, you don't want to do it too early, and you don't want to do it before they see the actual value in your coaching service. The value being that you are a coach that solves individual specific problems that are specific to them. The value being that you are a coach that solves specific individual problems. I kid you not, people will pay literally anything if you have the solution to their problem, but you're not gonna get there unless they trust you first. What we switched in this scenario was getting people to apply for coaching, then he would show them the value, and then he would tell them the cost of the service. Once we delayed talking about this until after the application process, things were night and day. No more comments like, I need to think about this, or that's out of my budget. And no more people ghosting them. Don't let your services be open access. Get them to apply for it and have a process in place where you can show them the value of having a specific solution to their individual problem. Then they'll sign up. And tip 7 is focusing on the ideal client avatar. Niching down is one of the hottest topics in the online nutrition coaching world. The idea is that since everything you do is online and you're not tied to a specific geographic location, you can be a lot more specific with your targeting, which means you can focus on one specific person. You can dig deeper into the specific pain points that someone experiences and the real tangible results they would like to achieve. You can highlight the particular barriers they face, and you can really start to understand how they think, the language they speak, and where they hang out online. Finding and focusing on a niche is literally the best thing you can do for your online nutrition coaching business. But so many coaches are resistant to this idea, mainly because they think they'll leave someone behind. And since you want to help as many people as possible, who wants to do that, right? Today I want to make 2 things crystal clear. Number 1, when you try to sell to everyone, you end up selling to no one. And number 2, when you focus on attracting a specific person, the strangest thing happens. The people you aren't speaking to start to say things like this: I'm not a healthcare worker, but I'm actually looking to gain muscle, not lose fat. These people, they end up reaching out anyway. When you create social media content trying to attract a specific type of person, those people come to you, but you also start a bunch of conversations with people that don't fit that mold, all because you got specific. And you can still work with these people. The key difference is you're not actively trying to market towards them. You just highlight them less, because that's when you start actually confusing the people you're trying to attract. And when you confuse, you lose, so try to niche down as soon as possible. And tip number 8 is avoiding how-to content. This one is going to be directed towards all my science-based coaches, all the wicked smart ones. I spent 10 plus years in university studying the ins and outs of science. Understanding the science of nutrition, which we talked about in tip 2, is important because we get people results, and that's what builds confidence. But it ends up being all about getting things right. But there's actually things that science gets wrong, especially when it comes to marketing. Fair or not, it's not the best nutrition coaches that get the most clients, it's the ones with the best marketing. And a big part of this comes down to the way you communicate and how you write. Most science-based coaches struggle to get new clients because they're writing for the wrong audience. If your social media content reads like a scientific manuscript, it might be right, but it's not going to get you any clients. Let me explain the difference. In science, the goal of your work is to get published in a manuscript. So the way you write things up follows this order. In science, the goal of your work is to get published in a manuscript. So you write up things like this in the following order: correspondence, abstract, methods, results, discussion, conclusion, summary, stuff like that. And this makes sense for the scientific community. But as you know, your clients aren't scientists. They don't find any of this stuff interesting or compelling. So we don't need to start over, but we do need to remove some fluff and make it more for our potential clients. So it starts to look like this. We take out some stuff like the abstract and the methods, which is essentially like how-to client. We're gonna remove a bunch of stuff, especially the method, which is essentially like the how-to clients and no one finds interesting. And then we're gonna do some reorganizing. And then it ends up looking like this: results, intro, correspondence. When you start writing for your clients, they'll know what's in it for them, they'll know what is important, why it is important, and what to do next. It's important to gloss over the how, because that's when we confuse and we overteach. If you want to get more clients, it's important to use science, but not write that way. When you start writing for your clients, you're speaking directly to them and connecting to them, and your business is going to grow as well. Tip number 9, let's dig into social proof and testimonials. Nothing grows your online nutrition coaching business better than testimonial content. Nothing. Not a fancy degree or the most professional, best looking website. A testimonial falls into the category of something known as social proof. To give a bit of a background here, social proof can be defined as: social proof is a psychological phenomenon where people assume the actions of others in an attempt to reflect correct behavior for a given situation. Basically, if you can show that other people are using your coaching service and getting a specific result, more people are willing to sign up. Because no one likes to be the first. And that's essentially what people are thinking when you don't provide proof. That's why everyone uses testimonials, and they are literally the difference between a good and a great nutrition coaching business. But some coaches make some big mistakes with testimonials that make them a non-factor really quick. Let's talk about these mistakes. Number 1, way too long. Just because a client takes the time to give you a really long response doesn't mean you need to use it all. Remember, it's nice to highlight a client's progress and everything that they did with you, but at the end of the day, it's your story to tell. This means use the parts that are important to attract new paying clients, and you don't need to detail everything that they said. The goal isn't to train your followers to read through walls of text. Present everything that is relevant and discard the rest. Since people have limited attention spans, make sure to include what's in it for them. Okay, so what's important to include? Let's go to mistake number 2, which is what's in it for me. So if you don't include everything, what do you include? The best thing you can ask yourself is to put yourself in a potential client's shoes and think, what's in it for me? The testimonial should address the positive payoff most of your clients are after. Ideally, you want to highlight the transformational nature of your coaching, where someone was before and where they are now, and what were the emotions between those phases. And if you aren't capturing that, you need to ask better questions. Let's go to mistake number 3. One thing that never gets old is hearing positive aspects of our coaching. Coach Mark was so nice and positive to work with. Of course, that kind of stuff makes me feel good, but what does it accomplish? Not what we want. Remember, the testimonial isn't for me. The testimonial is to attract other paying clients. When asking for testimonial content, you want to ask specific questions that guide people down the process of the client journey. What are the specific issues that they faced before working with you? What changed? What was the result? And how do they feel now? These are the stories that sell. Testimonial content is the best way to grow your online nutrition coaching, but only when you use it effectively. And tip 10 is to validate your ideas before you get too far. One of the biggest mistakes new nutrition coaches make is thinking that everything that is important to them is going to be important to their potential client. One way to get around this is to validate what you're thinking before you get started. How do you do this? By asking people. For example, if you know that potential clients really struggle with consuming enough protein, you could think about putting together a quick protein guide. And you could put out something like this to your social media following. I'm thinking about putting together a quick 1-page guide on the best sources of protein for you to gain muscle. If I created this, would you be interested in reading it? If people say yes, then your idea is validated and therefore you should create these things. But creating things that no one wants to read or no one is interested in is the best way to waste time and get nowhere. Just like giving away your best stuff for free, we don't want to create things that people don't actually need. So ask them, validate your idea before you spend a bunch of time creating something that no one actually is going to read. And that's it, folks. Those are my top 10 tips for starting an online nutrition coaching business. And as great as all those tips were, if you're really serious about starting an online nutrition coaching business, the next thing I'm going to have you do is check out this video right here on how to start an online nutrition coaching business in 2022. So make sure to check it out, and I'll see you in the next video.